All right, what's up, YouTube? My name is Alvin. I'm a 20-year military veteran now, so I have some time in law enforcement, and I like to make videos that educate you, inform you, and help keep you safe. So today we're looking at a video from a lady in Florida. I'll put the full link in the description, and she was describing how she believes she was almost kidnapped and trafficked while she was in a Walmart. And from my previous video, when I'm talking about situational awareness tips, this is why I make these videos, just to kind of make you aware of things that you should be mindful of in your everyday environment. It doesn't mean that you live in fear. It means that you put these things into your daily routine, just like you wake up and brush your teeth, and you look both ways before you cross the street. So let's get into the video.
To make sure that you get home safe. But I was in Florida, and I was shopping for a table at Walmart, and a young woman approached me and said she was a missionary from Brazil and asked if she could pray with me, and we had some conversation, and she turned her backpack around and unzipped it and pulled out these two books and said, "Hey, I have these for you," and she handed them to me. And my reflex was to take them. You know, when someone hands you something, you just take it. And I'm looking at these books, and they were wrapped in a plastic wrapper that was kind of worn and a little cloudy looking.
All right, so that right there, you know, female that's trying to engage you. And this is a tactic that traffickers use. They will often use women to attract other women, because as a female, you're more likely to have your guard down if another female approaches you and tries to talk to you. And then she noticed something right off the bat. She noticed that the books were funny. Like, first of all, you're in a Walmart. If I want to buy a book, I'll go to the shelf and buy a book. Why are you trying to sell me a book in Walmart? So that's also should be a red flag right off the beginning.
And I'm looking at these two books wondering what is going on, and she was telling me that I could buy the two books from her for $20. And once I realized she was trying to ask me to buy the books, I said, "Oh, no, thank you. I don't need these, but thank you." And I handed them back to her, and she took them back and stuck them in her backpack, zipped it up, and said, "Okay, thank you," and walked away. And I thought, wow, that's a strange thing to happen. And I started.
And you know what? She's exactly right. That is a strange thing. So right off the bat, she thought something was off. She handed you some books, and then she's willing to disengage, and that all seems fine and normal, right? But look at what happens next.
Walking toward where to check out, and within less than a minute, I'd say 30 seconds to a minute, all of a sudden, boom, I started getting very dizzy. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm so dizzy. I'm gonna really quickly get this table. I'm not gonna shop for anything else. I'm gonna go to my car to try to compose myself. And as I was walking out to the register, I looked down an aisle, and I saw her down the aisle texting very nervously. And at that point, I started getting more and more dizzy. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I think I've been drugged.
So I have to give her props, because she's realizing that things are funny and that things seem like they're off. And she paid attention right off the bat that, okay, something's off. This chick is over here texting. Immediately after she hands me these books, I'm feeling weird and I'm feeling off. We'll see what she did next to kind of help her situation out.
There must have been something on those books that she handed me that I'm now feeling. And I've been an athlete and had multiple surgeries, and so I know what it feels like when you take a painkiller, something to help with the pain. And it felt like I took 20 painkillers all at one time. I was so disoriented and dizzy and just had a hard time composing myself.
Part of situational awareness is not being dismissive of your previous life experience. She's had surgery. She was an athlete, so she kind of knows what it feels like to be under the influence of something. And with the way it hit her, she knew something was off. She did something most people you would think the opposite of.
And so once I realized that I had been drugged, I wondered if she was texting maybe the people that she was working with and letting them know what I looked like, so they would know who she had given the books to, so they could be on the lookout. I'm assuming they were trying to traffic somebody. That's what they were there for. And so at that point, I heard clear as day. I just feel like God gave me clear instructions. And I was told, go to where there are a lot of people, stay around a lot of people, because my instinct was to go to my car and to isolate or go to the bathroom. But no, I needed to be around.
And that right there, immediately we don't feel good. We immediately think we need to maybe get home, go somewhere, but going outside the store could have led to her being snatched up. And then she also has something there that not everybody's got. You know, she got God and she's listening to the Holy Spirit, and she's like trusting by faith something that you're just not going to get off training, and that requires a relationship. So that's something that you also shouldn't dismiss if that's something that you do.
Where there were a lot of people. So I kept walking and I saw the pharmacy to my right, and there was a bench at the pharmacy. So I sat on the bench because I thought I was going to pass out. And then again, I heard more instructions. Let them know that you're alone. So I'm assuming so that someone didn't just walk up to me and say, "Oh, this is my girlfriend," and pretend like they knew me and walk me out of the store, and no one would even.
That's a very good point. And this is really not a new tactic. This is something that has happened in bars for many years, where somebody may try to slip something in your drink and you're not feeling good, and they'll say, "Oh, this is my friend," and help them walk out. So the fact that, you know, she has all these things going and she's not feeling well, but she's still maintaining her composure is a credit to her. And my whole point for making this video today is that you can learn from her example. Maybe too, if you're in public, to a business or a store employee, say, "Hey, I'm not feeling good." Maybe before you pass out, if this unfortunately happens to you or anything like that, just separating yourself from the individual or person who just may have given you something, that may try to come up and pretend like they're your friend to escort you out, and you know, God knows what could happen. And just make sure that you continue to follow me. I'll bring you more content like this. In this situation, thankfully she ended up okay, and obviously because she's here to tell the story. But always be mindful of your surroundings. Check out my previous video on how to be situationally aware in public. Please like, subscribe, and share. Definitely share this video. Share it to all your female friends, but you know, men are not exempt. Somebody may try to do something to you too. So until next time, stay vigilant.